Welcome back to another very, very, very special episode. It's not even an episode for these DM clinics. I am here with my good friend Julie Cooper. Julie, thank you for joining us.
Thanks
Uh,
for having me, John.
we are chatting about something I am still understanding, and it sounds like Julie, you're still trying to understand, called Phil Psych, which is really cool. Brought to us by good friends Dr. Jen Shang and Adrian Sargent out of the UK, and some of our friends and colleagues are applying to great effect. It is a nerdy intellectual overlay, but really, when you kind of see it in action, you're like, it's just still human connection and feelings, isn't it? So.
Absolutely.
I will pass it over to you, Julie. I'm very excited to hear about this.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. I am going to share my screen.
Okay. You're good.
There we go. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. So first, thank you again, John, for
Mhm.
having me. I'm just super excited to be here and to share some information on Phil Psych and how to use it in your fundraising. So this is just an extremely brief intro with 3 before and after copywriting examples that will show you how to boost donor well-being and grow giving. All right, so I'm going to, there we go. Okay, so philanthropic psychology, what is it in a nutshell? It is the science, and we like calling it Phil Psych. So philanthropic psychology, we shorten it to Phil Psych. It is the science of how people love themselves and others and how this informs giving. So it's about growing giving by growing love. And the field was pioneered by doctors Jen Shang, Adrian Sargent, and Jen is the world's first and only philanthropic psychologist. And if you wanted to read more about her, about the course, I have it in blue here. You can go to their website. Okay, so let's talk quickly about traditional fundraising versus Phil Psych. Most traditional fundraising training emphasizes donors' motivations, and that is really the why behind their giving. And like motivation is super important, but philanthropic psychology looks at it through a different lens. They look at who donors are when they give. So it asks questions like, what kind of person are you when you give? And who do you want to be at your best? So essentially, it's about how giving makes people feel. And here's the impact of Phil Psych. Dr. Shang says, when donors feel their giving is meaningful and transformative to their sense of self, they give more and they give longer. So the benefits of using Phil Psych is increased giving, is a higher frequency of donations, and improved retention. 3 things that we all need in our fundraising. And in fact, testing shows, and my experience follows, that when well-being is boosted, when a donor's identity as a person and as a supporter is celebrated in the donor communications, that response rates and giving can double. Okay, so briefly, here's the psychology behind it. So we humans are wired, right, to seek out enjoyable experiences. And when we find them, right, we want to just like repeat them over and over again. So by enhancing this like enjoyable feeling of giving through connecting with our donors' well-being, you will grow your giving and your donor satisfaction. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. It's so magical. So there are 3 key components of psychological well-being that are really relevant to fundraising: autonomy, connectedness, and competence. And what I'm going to do is briefly explore these three and show you how we can incorporate them into our everyday fundraising language. So the first one is autonomy. And autonomy is about donors feeling seen and heard for who they are at their best. So in other words, it's a feeling that they have a hand in making something wonderful happen. So let's look at a before and after example. So some typical fundraising language would be that you see every day is something like this. Never has it been more important to restore the voting rights of those who are impacted by outdated and undemocratic voting restrictions. So taking that, not changing it all that much, but boosting it to boosting autonomy. And you can see it in red here, and I'll read it. Never has it been more important for you to use your voice to speak up for those who are harmed by undemocratic voting restrictions. Today, please stand strong with us and say, yes, I believe every citizen of voting age should have the right to vote. Now, I want you to notice this revised version really emphasizes the donor's agency and choice. So it's not just about the issue, but it's about the donor taking a stand and really using their voice. So I guess in a way, this approach really reinforces their autonomy, and it aligns with the act of giving with their self-image as somebody who takes action for what they believe in. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the next one is connectedness. Okay, so connectedness is about donors feeling a part of something bigger than themselves and to others whom they care about. So and I should say this could be a connectedness to a beneficiary, could be a connectedness to the community, feeling connected to other supporters like the donor, and it can also be a connectedness to maybe an inspiring leader at the organization. So here again, we have before and after. I'll read the typical fundraising language. So, John, your past donations to our organization have been instrumental in supporting terminally ill patients and their families. Your contributions have helped us provide essential care and services to those in need, like Katrina and her family. Okay, let's boost connectedness. And you can see again in red, those are my edits. So, John, you are truly special. You've shown time and again how much your heart beats for terminally ill patients and their families. I want you to know that your love is noticed and deeply appreciated, not just by me, but also by the people going through such difficult times like Katrina and her family. Okay, so in the after and the revision, I've highlighted the donors, their special role in the community of supporters. And I've also really emphasized that connection between the donor and the writer of the letter and the beneficiaries. And so really the purpose of connectedness is making the donor feel like they are part of this caring network and reinforcing their identity as a compassionate and connected individual. And the last one is competence. And so competence, donors want to feel that they're effective in making the world a better place. So it's really about helping the donor feel effective in articulating their love for others. And we'll also do a before and after. So typical fundraising language is we cannot lose this important momentum. In the coming months, we have an ambitious plan to advocate for the protection of manatees, pushing for stronger legislation and increased conservation efforts to save these gentle giants from extinction. but we need your help to power our work. Okay, kind of basic, kind of flat.
Mm.
But let's go ahead and take that and boost competence here. So momentum cannot be lost. Not now, not on your watch. In the coming months, you have the power to make a significant impact on the protection of manatees, pushing for stronger legislation and increased conservation efforts to save these gentle giants from extinction. Your unwavering commitment can be the turning point in the fight to secure a brighter future for manatees. So in this after revision, I've emphasized like the donor's power and their ability to make a significant impact. And I'm really trying to reinforce their identity as somebody who is capable and effective of making a positive change. Okay, so those are the three. And, just to quickly recap, when you add Phil Psych to your donor communications by adding autonomy, connectedness, and competence, you are definitely going to help your donors feel like they are creating really big change in the world, because they are. And what we really want to do, kind of the bottom line of this, is we really want to kind of create these meaningful giving experiences for our donors. So they feel connected to us, they feel like they had a voice in it and that they made a difference, and that they are effective in their giving. And remember, we want not just to focus on the why of giving, we also want to really zoom in on the who. Who is giving? Who are they when they give? Because when we do that, we will be growing love, and in turn we will be growing giving. So growing love leads to growing giving. So
Yes.
thanks, John.
It's so, I mean, I do like this because it is like, and the stuff that we talk about, and I'm going to share in these clinics, they are like on other different ways to also tap into donors feeling seen, is the way I always think of it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do enough to like, because what you're talking about is the more I love myself as a donor, if I'm Dale the donor,
Yeah.
I for someone to say I'm a good human, you're a remarkable person, making us able to make us do remarkable work, and here's why your giving matters. I feel really good about myself. I want to do it again because it's like you said, giving does feel good, and I want to feel it as much as I possibly can. Donors, that's what they want to do, and we did such a bad job at just making them feel seen for their work. So Dale, the donor, does feel generally good. She's a good human. She knows she does good work, but the charities themselves do very little to reflect that back onto her, or to like bring that home, acknowledge her for what she does in this world. So all these things that we can do, all these little like tactics and techniques and things, the more you not that's the whole idea of this whole series, is I'm trying to pique people's interest in different little things like envelopes. Like, wow, I didn't know I
Yeah.
could talk of 8 hours about envelopes, but yeah, you can.
Mm.
Or you can study the psychology of giving and get really nerdy about it and totally improve your communications, or this or that or this, is to sort of just unlock people's passion, hopefully, for this really strange craft that you and I have the wonderful privilege of doing every single day. And so, no, that was chef's kiss. Perfect.
Yay, thank
Eh,
you. And yeah, and I think, when I write and when I design, I want to hold up a mirror to the donor.
yeah, you
So
do.
I want them to see themselves, right?
Absolutely.
Um, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie, very much for that. And we'll see you, and then, well, not you, maybe you, but see everyone who's watching this on another one sometime soon. So thank you very much. Thank you, Julie.